Salut classe. OK, l'autre structure dont on va parler dans ce leçon, c'est les nombres ordinaux pour mettre les choses en ordre. Franchement, je ne vais pas passer beaucoup de temps sur ce concept parce que je crois d'abord, vous êtes capable de comprendre assez rapidement. Et deux, c'est quelque chose qui est plus évident en contexte. Alors, pour commencer, les nombres ordinaux. Comme j'ai indiqué dans l'autre vidéo, l'introduction, même moi, je confonds toujours les nombres cardinaux et les nombres ordinaux. Je comprends les différences, mais cardinal, ordinal, even me, I get them mixed up. So, cardinal, les nombres cardinaux, looks like the bird, right? If you write it out, those are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just counting in order. Quand tu fais les nombres ordinaux, that's when you want to put things in order, like label things first, second, third, fourth. Okay, so if we look here at the difference, this is taken from the book, Encore du livre, okay? Deuxième. Février est le deuxième mois de l'année. February is the second month of the year. You would not say février est le deux mois de l'année. February is the 2 month of the year. So again, as I'm presenting this to you, keep in mind that if you were to forget this and you were to say février est le deux mois de l'année, the person who you're talking to would probably get what you're trying to say because you're a beginning French speaker. As you're trying to move up to be an intermediate French speaker, just like we want to move up to be better English speakers, as we from being in kindergarten and moving our way up and using bigger words and whatnot, it's the same idea. Okay, so première. Okay, I'm skipping down to the bottom here. Okay, we learned that when we were talking about dates. Aujourd'hui c'est le 1er mai. It's the 1st of May. All right, so you had a slight exposure to this in the past. They're actually easier than English because they always follow the same pattern, except for one. You've got deuxième, troisième, quatrième. Okay, it's always the em. All right, so if you notice in the example, we have February is the second month of the year. And then, we have another calendar kind of example. Mercredi est le troisième jour de la semaine. And then the last one, j'habite au quatrième étage. I live on the 4th floor. Okay, so those are the kind of situations where you're going to run into this. Basically, it's about recognition. When you see that em, you're like, oh yeah, the em, the I, the with the accent grave, me, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's something that's in order. It's really easy to make the ordinal numbers, and they give the little pattern here, and you can hear it, right? I mean, six, sixième, onze, onzième. Are there a couple of numbers that have wacky like spelling changes? Yes. Look, cinquième, they left the U in there. Neuf, they changed the F to a V, neuvième. I am not overly concerned about the spelling right now, but if you could recognize it and pronounce it, bravo. For me, just to share, like when I first started being able to use ordinal numbers or really get it, was c'est quand j'étais étudiante en France. Et voilà, c'est un plan de Paris. Okay, so for those of you that have been following this in order, and here you can see the map of Paris because you've already done some activities with that. Okay, tu vois, il y a des numéros 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See how it spins out? See how these numbers spin out? Okay, so ces numéros sont les arrondissements. Those are the districts in Paris, okay? And Paris est construit de 20 arrondissements. So Paris is made up of 20 of them. It starts with 1 in the oldest part of the city, okay, because that's where Paris started, and it spins its way out from there. So the more recently added parts of Paris have bigger numbers, okay? So quand tu es à Paris et tu veux se situer, c'est, bon, you would say like, oh, you wouldn't, like me, I lived in the 15th for a while. I would say, oh, j'habite dans le 15e. I live in the 15th. J'habite dans le 15e. It's a way to really quickly, instead of saying a monument or something like that, because as Parisians living there, you're not always thinking about, oh, the Eiffel Tower or Arc de Triomphe or whatever. You're talking about a part of town, un quartier. Okay, so this would be a way that you would use the ordinal numbers. Quand tu veux faire une recherche, okay, if you're looking up, I mean, this is how French Parisians, use that all the time. Où manger dans le 15e arrondissement? Where should I eat in the 15th district, in the 15th neighborhood? And a lot of times addresses, if you look stuff up in French, it doesn't give the full postal code. It'll just say 15e. And French, well, I mean, if you're not, Parisians would know right away. Oh, 15th district. Okay. And then, okay, so here's a little recap. And then when would I use quand utiliser les nombres ordinaux? Okay, quand tu voyages à Paris. Okay, so when you travel to Paris. All right. They're also handy if you cannot remember fancy ways to organize your paragraphs in une rédaction, une dissertation, d'abord. Okay, maybe you remember, d'abord, first of all. But then you could say deuxième, troisième. I mean, if all else fails, use an ordinal number to organize your thoughts. Okay, and then we will see these again. And just because I'm going to have you do a recipe project eventually here. But pour expliquer les étapes, to explain like the steps of how to do something. Premier, il est nécessaire d'ouvrir la boîte. Deuxième, mettez le couteau dans le beurre. Troisième, étalez le beurre sur la tranche de pain. Okay, so voila, I've just told you how to put butter on a piece of bread. Okay, so it's really just a way to organize. C'est pas un concept très, très difficile, mais c'est utile à savoir. Okay, and then this is the kind of exercise I am going to have you do just in terms of labeling place, who came in what order in the race. Okay, bon courage.